Yasemin, and we're going to have a tiny sound session here in Baba Camp, 1,300 meters above the clouds in the forest, Babada. We have different sound elements here, working with the Tibetan sound bowls, and we also see a variety of gongs behind me. The left gong is a Paiste gong. It's a planetary gong. As you can see on the top, it has Venus as a sign, so it's basically turned into the frequency of 222 hertz. So we will receive the energy and the frequency of Venus radiating through the universe. And then additionally, we have some symphonic gongs here. This one is a bronze Paiste gong, which is more which has more a balanced frequency, like a symphony. That's why we call it also symphonic gong. What we need to know maybe when we work with sound is that sound will always have an effect on our bodies, on our physical material bodies, but also on our biofields. Meaning when the frequency and the vibration hits the body, things are going to start to move. You can, for instance, imagine a glass of water. When you have a glass of water and you maybe put some sound next to it, or maybe even fill water into a singing bowl, and then we would make it sing, you would realize that the frequency and the shape of the water is going to change. And as we as human beings, with our material flesh and bones, consist of 70 to 80% of water, of course our DNA and our cells are also going to change. So we're changing the frequency of our own system, and what is going to happen is that when things are starting to move, also things can show up. And what I mean with that is that we can have experiences from visual experiences or physical experiences. Sometimes I see people cramping. Sometimes I see that the body is going into tiny shapes, making itself small, so that the body is trying to shy away from really working with what the sound can do for you. And in all of these experiences, I'm also saying that, when we're working with healing elements, we know that healing is not always pleasant. So it can go into both directions. It can be super joyful and releasing and all of that, but it could also be, unpleasant. And whatever comes up, we always want to hold space for it. The best that I like to describe is that we're trying to face what is going to surface and what wants to be looked at with a yin attitude. That means that we want to step away from what comes up, and instead of judging it or engaging with the emotion or the vision or whatever, we just want to step behind and just notice that there is something coming up. Maybe anger, maybe sadness, joy, whatever comes up. We just want to watch and observe with a yin attitude, the attitude of a naturalist going into the forest and observing butterflies. This is how we call it. Good. So we're going to start with a tiny sound session with different elements. And then I would also like to show you how to play Ad Gorena Me on the harmonium, the mantra of protection, as a second part of this video. So you can just sit down or lay down, preferably on your back. And you can just rest in Shavasana. So open your palms towards the universe. So when we open the palms towards the universe, we can receive the universal energy. And then close your eyes. And just take some deep breath into your lungs and expand your rib cage. Inhale deep. And exhale slow through the mouth. If your body is able to release through the mouth. Sometimes the body doesn't want to exhale through the mouth. surrender your mind into your physical body, and your physical body into nothingness. Very gently connect back with your breath on the tip of the nose. Inhale deeply into your chest. And exhale through the mouth. And from the breath you can connect with your material body, with your flesh and your bones, your ligaments, your tissue, connective tissue and the fascia. Connect with all the elements in your body. Bring the awareness into your fingertips and your toes. Then lift the arms above the head and make yourself long, long, long. Like in the morning in the bed, you can stretch yourself. Make yourself even longer. Stretch. And then bend the knees and make yourself small, like a baby. Roll over to the right side into embryo position. And then rest there like a Buddha. Now before you wake up, resting like a Buddha, like a child, experiencing the world with childlike innocence. And when you feel ready, you can lift yourself back up into a meditation seat, keeping the eyes closed. And we're going to sit in silence here and meditate without words. And maybe you can take your time to recall your experience, if there was anything more dominant, more present. Just recall these moments of the past 15 to 20 minutes. What did you see? Was there anything visual? Was there anything in your physical body, or in your mind? Just for a moment, dive back into this world. And then you can also take a moment to ask yourself this question, how it feels to be you right now after this tiny sound session. If there's anything changed for you, or maybe not. Again, we don't want to judge. We are the Buddha, experiencing everything with childlike innocence. So we're just noticing. We're not engaging with the experience. We're just noticing how it was. And if it changed anything for us. And then very gently you can bring the hands in Anjali Mudra in front of your heart. And here we're going to rub the hands vigorously until they get really hot. You can still keep the eyes closed here. Just rub the hands until they're hot, 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 super hot, warm, red energy coming out of your palms. And then you're placing the palms on a body part that needs healing. On a body part that needs healing, place it. On a body part that needs healing. And then very gently from here, if you feel ready, you can bring the palms in front of your eyes. And behind the palms, you're glimpsing your eyes open just gently to arrive back in the material world. You can open maybe the fingertips a little bit, the fingers. And then remove the palms down to the ground, but also gaze to the ground so that you're not looking into any face or into any digital device. And your brain stays in a non-judgmental space. And then when you feel ready, you can lift your gaze again and come back. Yeah. So this was the first part of this video. It's more, calming down energy. We're going to change now to chant. If you feel really relaxed now, then I would suggest come back to this video and continue when you feel that it's the right time for you. If you still want to learn how to play the harmonium and chant one mantra, then you can stay. When we're working with sound, also worth to mention, please drink lots of water. Even more than you would usually drink, as after working with the gong and the Tibetan sound bowls, we feel super, super thirsty. So nourish and nurture your body and hydrate so that your body can really flush out everything that the body wants to release. Okay. So obviously for this exercise, for this practice, you would need a harmonium. Or if you have a piano or any electric piano or something like that at home, of course that can also do. We're going to chant the Atgure Name. It's a Kundalini mantra. Maybe if you're doing Kundalini yoga, you will know this mantra from the beginning, but we're going to chant a version from Snatan Kaur, or at least it's an adapted version. I also would like to recommend you to use a certain app that I really like, and also in general in Kirtan it's always good to have this app. It's called iTabla Pro. I hope you can see it. And I would even suggest that you are using the Pro version, which costs like something around 30 euros, but it's really worth to invest it, especially if you're playing Kirtan and mantra chanting and on the harmonium more often, because the for free version will close itself after 30 seconds or something like that. I can't remember. Okay, so for this you would need the iTabla Pro. You would need it on A2, and I'm only using the tabla and the manjira to create the sound. And the drum that I'm using is called bajani. I'm going to close this for now, but just so that you know what I'm using, and then you can also use it at home. Okay, so this mantra is the mantra of protection. And it is said that if we're chanting it for ourselves, then we're creating an protective energy shield around us. And if you're chanting it with more people, which is also amazing, you're obviously going to create a huge protective shield altogether, so it has even more power. And it's also said that this mantra is here to bring us clarity and give us guidance from our higher selves. And I'm going to read it for you. So it's Atgure Name, Jugat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siri Guru Deve Name. And basically we're always bowing In every sentence, we're bowing to the primal wisdom, we're bowing through time, we're bowing to true wisdom, and also to the unseen wisdom. Yeah. I'm going to show you first how to play it on the harmonium. So the first chord that we're going to play is A, C sharp, and E. And then we're going to play A, D, and F sharp. Then we're going to play A, C sharp, and E. And we're going to stay here a little bit. And then again go back to A, C sharp, and F sharp. H and E. And A, C sharp, and E. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 different chords. Yeah, you will also find the chords in the show notes of this video. So don't worry if you don't get it right from the beginning. What I would also recommend is what I see very often is that people use the pump too heavy, how shall I say, a little bit too aggressive for my taste. I like to be a little bit gentle to it so that also the chords come out very smooth and soft. Yeah, you see here, I'm doing it like maybe twice, and I'm not closing it. I'm only doing it just a tiny bit. What I also really like is sometimes when I'm a little bit more creative on the harmonium, I'm even just closing it from here. You can also do that. Yeah, so you can maybe even follow just my hands. So A, C sharp, E, A, D, and F sharp. And again back to A, C sharp, and E. Stay here. Go back to A, C sharp, and F sharp. H and E. And then A, C sharp, and E. I'm going to sing for you, and then we're going to turn on the iTabla Pro to spice it a little bit up. And I would suggest that you just practice first to feel comfortable with the right hand playing the chords. And yeah, like everything in life, we need consistency to be successful. So I would suggest that you're just repeating it, and then after some time you will feel comfortable in chanting to it and finding your own style of singing. Break here before we are turning on the iTabla. When we're chanting the mantras in repetition, usually in Indian culture, we chanted for 108 times, as this is a very universal number with high energy. Sometimes when I play, I'm getting so lost and I'm completely playing wrong chords, and that's actually a good sign, because that means that I'm surrendering the mind completely and I'm dropping all my control. And this is what the mantra also wants to do, right? Because man is the mind, and how I learned it, or what I believe what mantra means, is that man is the mind and tries to get yourself into trance. And that's why I love also working with the gong and the harmonium so much, and chanting mantras, because it's basically a quick journey into a meditative state, right? When we try to sit and we really want to meditate and create a little bit of space between our thoughts, and it's not so easy for many of us, because up here it's always like coming in, but the moment we're just repeating Sanskrit words for a couple of times, or the moment we sit down and receive the frequency of the gong, the mind starts to surrender and we're dropping the control. And what happens afterwards is that we experience silence. And the beauty of chanting mantra is also that very often what I experience is when we're using Sanskrit words, the mind immediately wants to know, what does it mean, right? We want to always understand what's the meaning of things. The idea of chanting mantras is actually not so much about receiving the meaning or knowing exactly what the mantra is for, but rather surrendering to the experience and feeling what the mantra is doing for us. So dropping the mind, surrendering the mind, and just working with the vibration of the Sanskrit words, as they have in their pronunciation a certain frequency that the body is filling up with. Okay, so we're going to chant this mantra again. This time I'm using the tabla in A2, Bhajani, and I'm only pressing on tabla and on the manjira. We're going to spice the mantra a little bit up so that it gets more fun to also play it maybe with your friends, or maybe you're hosting a kirtan singing circle. And now you can also see that I'm pumping the left hand a little bit different. we're chanting is that we're going up and down, so we're bringing a little bit more yang energy into the mantra, but then at the end we want to calm everyone down again. We want to really internalize the mantra, so we're becoming very silent. And then at the end, I would always take the tabla out again, and then I would whisper it with everyone. And then squeeze it in on the top. So you're holding the breath in the chest, squeeze it in, and also squeeze your mula bandha. Hold the breath as long as you can in your body. And then exhale. Keep your eyes closed here, and just breathe into your chest, into your physical body. Become the Buddha, childlike, innocent energy. Enjoy your meditation. And when you feel like that you're ready to face the material world again, then you can glimpse your eyes open. Again, just gaze to the ground. So never, after these practices, I would suggest never look anyone into the eyes or into the face, as the brain always tends to judge, and we want to stay in a non-judgmental space. So gaze to the ground, 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 ground. Yeah, look around where you're sitting, what is around. And then you can lift your gaze, take the hands in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra, and I'm closing this video with a Namaste and Hari Om. Thank yourself that you watched this and that you're here to learn. And let's also thank and appreciate all the cultures that have gifted us all these amazing elements and instruments and tools that we can use for our own healing purposes. So we're thanking India, Tibet, and China, and any other culture that comes to your mind. That brought these amazing gifts to us so that we can center ourselves. And I thank you for trusting my guidance. If you like this video, subscribe or come back and watch all the other videos. Namaste.